Are you a busy professional man who's looked in the mirror and thinking, how did it get this bad? In this video, I'll show you the warning signs that your weight is destroying your confidence and how you can finally lose the weight and keep it off and become the man that you feel proud looking in the mirror. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button because I'm making a new video about weight loss for men every single week. I use these strategies to lose 60 pounds in 8 months. I kept it off for 13 years and I've helped dozens of men just like you lose up to 60 pounds and finally escape the yo-yo dieting cycle. If you're tired of constantly losing and gaining the same weight, I want to help you get to your healthy self without giving up the foods that you love. The first problem is that you're winging your diet, and the reason why it's a problem is that you are just having no understanding of what weight loss is and also how it can be sustainable for finally losing the weight and become more confident. Let's imagine that there's 24 hours in a day and you are awake 12 hours. You are, for example, using 1 hour to work out in the gym, and then the 11 hours that you are awake, what are you doing then? So I tell you that if you are eating a lot of shit, for example, you are eating white bread, white pasta, you are barely eating any protein, the amount of protein you're eating is from high fat foods like bacon, and you are eating like very much butter in all your meals, it's problem to have a calorie deficit that can actually help you lose weight. Because if you are a 30-year-old man who needs to have 3,000 calories to be in the maintenance calories and you're eating above that, no matter how much healthy foods you are eating, you are not going to lose weight. In order to lose weight sustainably, you need to have a structured meal plan where you are eating in a calorie deficit, and through a calorie deficit you are sticking to that. If you want to lose the weight for good and become the most healthiest version and most proud version that you're looking yourself in the mirror, just like you saw with me and my client transformation in the beginning of the video, there's a link in the description and also in the comment section where you can apply for coaching with me, and we'll see if you and I are fit to work together, and I'll help you build a game plan to lose the weight. You are losing weight all around your body, but most problem for men just like you who barely recognize yourself when you look into the mirror, when you find going after the shower and you're looking back and thinking, who am I? I don't remember this person being as fat, as tired, exhausted, but you remember a more fit, lean and confident person. So I tell you that if you figured out your maintenance calories and you subtract that with 300-500 calories and you're able to stick that and having a 45% of daily calories coming from high protein and then 40% of daily calories coming from carbs, simple carbs, complex carbs, where you are eating, instead of whole wheat, when you're eating whole wheat pasta, toast, sweet potato, yams, that's high in fiber. You are having a lot of salads that could be carrots, iceberg salad, and then you're also having quinoa, that is slow digestible carbs that can help you create this slow energy levels throughout the day, so you are supporting yourself after you've been working out in the gym. For example, you need to recover yourself because you have been using a lot of progressive overload where you are adding more weights onto the exercises. And then you are also making sure that you are eating foods that you really enjoy. Like 90% of the foods that you are eating is coming from high quality foods that is satiating your cravings. Foods are, when it comes to protein diet, I always recommend that you have a staple that is whey protein. I love the brand My Protein, where you are getting high quality protein sources and you are buying it 5 kilo per bag, so you have like a whole lot of protein. I'm getting like 60 grams in every single day and 400 grams of skim milk into my diet. And then you also want to have lean protein source. That could be lean steak, extra lean ground beef, it could be turkey, whole eggs, egg whites, cottage cheese, could be fish, and lean chicken breast without any of the fat. And it's easier for you to hit your daily protein intake, because if you want to build a lean, athletic, toned, muscular body that you can feel proud of when you are going out of the shower and you look at yourself in the mirror, you just require to build a lot of lean muscle mass, and the more muscle mass you have, the more fat you are losing faster. And when it comes to the carbohydrates, I already mentioned that, but it's essentially that you also just need to have a mix of simple and slow digestible carbs. So fast digestible carbs could be protein bars, it could be cookies, it could be, for example, white breads. I sometimes feel like you need to have some of these in, because if you are eating cereal and whole foods all the time, you are feeling so full, because the best way to have a lean, sustainable fat loss diet, you need to have 90% of daily calories come from the foods that I mentioned to you. Have a mix of these into like 30 grams of protein, so you can have a like sustainable protein synthesis where you are building a lot of muscles all the time, and at least 40 grams of carbs to sustain yourself, like the energy levels. And then you also want to make sure that you are getting a lot of focus from all the foods that you're getting and spreading it out through the day with 3-4 hours of between. I usually only eat 3 meals a day, like 12 p.m. I'm breaking my fast. The next meal is like 3 p.m., like a protein bar or protein cookie. Almost less meals of the day I'm getting, for example, a big bowl of sweet potato jams with steaks, for example, some veggies. That helps to support my macros. And the last meal could be, for example, Greek yogurt with some berries, so that's like the sweetness, so I don't miss out on anything. And maybe I'm eating a cookie, like protein cookie, at the last meal, because it's just easier to get all your foods if you are having a mix of these combinations. Another mistake that you're making is that you're putting way too much emphasis on, for example, using cardio in the gym. When you are starting out your weight loss journey, you are spending like an hour on a treadmill, and you are probably also guilty of putting up the incline like max, and you're holding at the top of the incline. And the reason why it's a problem is that you want to have your calorie deficit work for itself, because just solely having a calorie deficit, you are losing weight all around your body, and it takes a long ass time for you to maintain that, and also eating foods that you enjoy to maintain that. But if you are thinking that you're doing 1 hour of cardio every single day on a treadmill, and you are only wanting to use cardio as a supplementary way to lose fat even faster, so having the diet work for itself, that is a good point. And then you're starting to introduce cardio slowly when you feel like you're not losing 1 to 2 pounds a week. But there's also the right way, in my opinion, to do cardio, because if you want to use cardio, you need to have some resistance when you're doing cardio, because the way cardio works to lose weight even faster is that you are expending even more calories, and that is through where you have some resistance. That could be a cross trainer or stationary bike where there's some resistance, and you have a heart rate of 120. If 10 is the max when you're doing cardio, you should have 6 or 7 where you are having like trouble breathing, when you are trouble like having someone to talk with. Because if you are on a treadmill and you're talking with someone, you are not performing enough intensity, so you're not burning as much calories, and you are wasting a lot of your time. So if you are, for example, having your hands on the treadmill and you're talking while you are, for example, doing the cardio, you are not working out hard enough. So you just putting your hands on this treadmill is making you having less resistance, so it's not going to be a lot. So if you're burning like 400 calories on the treadmill, and you are going home and you are not thinking that you need to think about what you're eating, you're just winging it, you're eating a muffin, then bam, that's gone. All the calories that you've been burning throughout this 1 hour cardio session is gone. So you can never outwork a bad diet. So if you are working your ass off in the gym and you're going back home and you're having no calorie deficit, you are most likely going to ruin your calorie deficit. Then you wake up feeling regret of why am I not seeing any progress despite working out in the gym for several decades this way. And I don't want you to be in a place where you are, for example, taking pictures of you and your family. Maybe you are at sea and you are telling yourself you don't want to take any more pictures because you feel so embarrassed of how you look in the mirror, especially when you are on holiday with your family or on a wedding or some work event, and you are probably getting zoomed in on, you are zooming yourself in these pictures and seeing how you're looking, and you feel like your shirt is too tight and you are sweating from taking pictures and you don't feel happy. You're feeling shocked and you're thinking, is this what I'm really looking like? And you make feeling embarrassed, and you are consciously thinking that you don't want to put any more stress or anything on you, so you just want to hide at home, and that makes you feel that you are just like worthless and not confident. And I'm going to give you some wake-up call. You're probably going to get your confidence destroyed all over the place, and eventually your wife is going to divorce you, because I think that to have a happy, good girlfriend or wife, you need to be able to take care of yourself, be very healthy, and then you can go out and treat her, be very good to her. But if you are feeling like the most unhealthiest, not confident, the heaviest weight you've ever been, and you're still going out with your girlfriend, and she's most likely not feeling that you are so fun as you used to, because when you were together with her, you were slim, fit, confident, and that made her realize that I'm very lucky to have this man, but you've been just yo-yo dieting and being too stressed and having you just not looking at yourself in the mirror, being the person that you are. You're probably at a point where you are not able to fit any of your clothes anymore, and you used to have a favorite suit and shirt, but that is just collecting dust into the back of your closet, and it's like when you try it on again, it feels like more tight than it used to. Maybe you cannot even button it all, and instead of buying new clothes, you are just thinking that whatever, I don't need to do it. I just try to wear some shit clothes where it's like a baggy t-shirt, and that makes you feel embarrassed when you're going out with your family, because it's just she's wearing a nice dress and you are wearing some shitty clothes, and that makes you feel just not confident, embarrassed, and especially when you're going to work event where you're not dressing up and you see other successful men who are wearing awesome clothes, and that makes you feel that you don't want to attend these events anymore and don't feel confident when you're talking, presenting yourself. And I think that's one of the reasons why you've been at this place where it's been so difficult, is that you are still in the gym and you are not educating yourself in regards to what compound movements, isolation movements are, and you're just thinking that we're looking at these workout videos, 10 minutes get toned and abs from other fitness coaches who've only been slim toned their whole life. They've never been in their heaviest weight and going through all this shit with having struggled with following diets and not understanding like what the right thing is to do. You're just seeing some beautiful person who is just doing a bunch of exercises and they've always been toned. So if you're trying to go to the gym and just not structuring your workout plan the right way, that makes it very difficult to build muscle and lose fat even faster. What I specifically mean with compound movements, that is very basic fundamental of bodybuilding, where you are using one exercise is targeting several muscle groups. It's also very demanding. So for example, there could be military press in a Smith machine where you are seeing a lot of, so you're for example targeting the front part of the shoulders and also the triceps. So by doing that, you are going to expand a lot of calories by just working out this way. And I always recommend that you are starting out with 2 compound movements where you are targeting the front part of the shoulder. So you are for example performing 4 sets. The first set is a warm-up set where you are find a way that you can manage to execute 10 to 12 reps, and how specifically you're doing 1 rep is that you are taking a breath, then you are like lowering the bar, and then you are taking and you are in and you are exhaling like 2 seconds while you are pushing the bar away from you. That is like the place where you are creating most muscle trauma, and that is also the most important part of the exercise. Of course, you need to study the shit out of every of the YouTube videos before you're doing any of these exercises. I see too many of the ambitious professional overweight men who's just going to the gym and just seeing what other people are doing, but they are not executing the workouts and the exercise the right way. So you're not breaking down the muscle tissues like the whole way. Most likely you are targeting some other part of the muscle, and then you perform 10 to 12 reps just to get some blood flow out to the muscle group. And then you are taking 60 seconds, because if you are taking 60 seconds, you also having a wash. You can try to have a higher intensity when you're working out. The more high intensity you're working out, the faster you will build more muscle and also loosen fat even faster. And then you go over to the first exercise, like the first set, where you are increasing the weight 5 kilos maybe on the bar, each side of the bar, and then you're performing 10 to 12 reps where you need to execute like 1 to 2 reps before failure. So if you're hitting a failure at 11 reps, that means that you push yourself a lot. Then you try to 60 seconds and then you increase the weight again. It could be like 2.5 kilos on each side. Sometimes you're not able to increase the weight all the time, but you also have a journal where you are writing down every single of the rep for each set, and that is a way for you to remember the next time that you're working out that you want to beat that score. So if you are able to beat that score, you are able to, for example, understand that you are building more muscle and losing even more fat. So it's like something to be very meticulous about. You're not able to tone and sculpture the body. It's something that needs to, if you have a lot of body fat, calorie deficit is something that helps you lose weight even faster by maintaining that. But in order to sculpt and tone the body, you need to have a lot of muscle mass, and then the amount of fat that is on the muscle that is decreased through a calorie deficit, and then the muscle that is left, that is just a very small layer of fat that's covering it, and that makes you appear more toned. So that's how you are toning the body. So having two compound movements, like the first one is the military press, the next one is, for example, dumbbell shoulder press, just doing the same exercise, and then you can go over to, for example, other exercise isolation movements. That could be lateral raises. You're standing up and doing the same formula, and then you are sitting down doing lateral raises, because you already pushed a lot of weight onto the lateral raises, like with the side of the shoulders. So you are getting this 3D look, and then you're feeling tired, and then you just want to push out every single of the energy that you have left for targeting the lateral raises. And then you can go over to barbell curls, where you're just targeting in the biceps. And I know that having a wide shoulders, small waist you're getting through a calorie deficit that you are maintaining throughout the long period of time. And I think that is very important for you, because if you are someone who is a man struggling with breathing, and you are trying to take a few stairs and you're just feeling out of breath every time, you want to play with your kids but you don't have any stamina and feeling out of breath every time, and that makes your kids feel very embarrassed by you, and they don't want to play with you anymore because you're just not able to fit up with, they are asking you to go to the playground. They know that that is just someone who is just too fat and just not able to be there and hang out with them. Maybe you're carrying groceries, it makes you feel very exhausted just going out and carry that, and tying the shoes may also be a very big challenge for you. I know that these are some of the things that I would feel like, because I used to be in the same shoes like you, thinking that, man, I'm too young to grow old right now. I'm only 35 years old. And maybe the doctors mentioned to you that you need to put your shit together because you are just having high blood pressure, elevated cholesterol, you have pre-diabetic, or you have increased your health risk, and that makes you realize that you need to take a good look into the mirror and just starting to not doing all these dumb weight loss mistakes. I know that I used to do all these mistakes, but I lost 60 pounds and kept it off for 13 years. So I want you to not do the same shit like I did. And I'd love to know what is your biggest takeaway from the video so far, and just comment below and let me know. And if you want to lose the weight for good and not looking older than you actually are, I want you to make sure that you are watching the video till the end. And also, I think that's another thing that I want to share with you with the warnings of, for example, be at your heaviest weight, is that your confidence is dropping at work. You are used to going into every of these meetings and you're feeling fit, confident, strong, but now you're walking anxiously into all these meetings and you are feeling less sharp, and you're very aware of your presentations and your appearance, and you feel less energetic and assertive as you used to. And I also think that you're probably just not feeling attractive as you used to be, because in order for you to feel attracted to your wife or girlfriend, you need to be aware of that you are feeling good in your body. But if you feel like that when you're taking off the shirt, you feel embarrassed by your man boobs, your big stomach is bulging out over your pants, and I'm sure that if your wife used to be someone who's looked at you as a fit, confident person, and she now sees this bubbly, exhausted, tired guy with eye bags and big stomach bulging out, man boobs, and you don't feel confident and comfortable taking your shirt off your partner, and you don't want to sleep with her anymore, no matter what they're saying. Even though they're saying that it's not a problem, but deep down they know that, especially when they cheated on you. I feel that if someone's cheating on you, it's a way for them to not trying to say to you, they don't have the courage to say to the, yet you are, I'll say, a loser, or maybe so not attractive or worthy of her attention, that you need to just take your shit together and start doing something by losing the weight and keep it off, so you can be more confident and attractive. And I don't want you to pass another Monday thinking, man, is this really how my life should be? But I want to share the last thing with you, is that just being able to work out and having enough stamina that you're building up over the time, because if you're only doing cardio in the gym like 20 minutes on a stationary bike 4 times a week, and that is enough for you to maybe create a bigger calorie deficit. But if you're not implementing walking as a way to lose even more fat, that is a missed opportunity. Walking with like 6,000 steps every single day, you burn even more calories. So that is equal to like 2 pounds a week, and also a calorie deficit of 300-400 calories in deficit. And it's less strenuous on your joints. You feel more rejuvenated and happy when you're going for a walk, because you can have like some fresh air and it makes you more happy. But if you're someone who wants to lose the weight for good and become the most healthiest, confident version of yourself, and love what you see in the mirror, just like you saw with me and my client transformation in the beginning of the video, there's a link in the description and also in the comment section where you can apply for coaching with me, and we'll see if you and I are fit to work together. I'd love to help you.